the slideshow. Yeah. Okay. This is the first group of notes for this chapter. This is about long-form possessive adjectives, and we've had short-form possessive adjectives in the past. So today we're going to talk about long-form. But before we talk about long-form, let's review what possessive adjectives we've already had in the past. So in Spanish 1, we talked about possessive adjectives that show possession and personal relationships. Remember doing these? Me, tu, su, nuestro, su, or we can make those all plural. Mis, tus, sus, nuestros, sus, or nuestras, and all that. They all mean my, his, your, our, their, y'all's. It's not really y'all's isn't really appropriate, but it's easier to differentiate between your and y'all's than just saying your and your. Okay. These are a couple of rules. They go before the noun. Remember, most adjectives go after, but possessive adjectives have to go before the noun, and they agree in gender and number with what they're describing. Not the owner. Whatever it is that they're describing has to agree in gender and number. And really, the only one that agrees in gender is the nuestro form. Okay, the rest of them are just, you have to worry about the number. Okay, so we had some examples. His shoes, sus zapatos. Zapatos is plural, so the he form of su becomes sus. Not because he is plural, it's because the shoes are plural. Do you remember doing this? Mm-hmm. Yep. Our house, nuestra casa. Doesn't matter who the owner is on the gender. It's the casa is feminine, so nuestra has to be feminine. My grandparents, mis abuelos. Abuelos is plural, so it's mis. Your cat, tu gato. Okay, cat singular, so it's just tu. And the last example, their family. Family is a singular word, even though it means you're talking about lots of people. The word is a collective noun, so familia is singular, so we have su as singular. And they are the family owns it, or they own the family, but it's all singular because family is singular. It's not sus familia. Okay, it's only sus when what you're owning is plural. Does that make sense? And this is all from Spanish 1 last year. But I just want to make sure we had a quick review. We call these short form possessive adjectives. Me, tu, su, nuestro, su. All right. Good to move on? Okay. Okay, so like I just said, those were all short form possessive adjectives. Let's talk about long form possessive adjectives. The difference between the two of them, long form you think as something more expressive, showing, I say something that you're showing that it is more near and dear to your heart. Okay. You can use it when you're talking about a special friend. Difference in rules. Long form follows the noun. Okay. Short form goes in front of the noun. Long form goes after the noun. They still agree in gender and number, so that's still the same. All adjectives have to agree in gender and number with whatever it is. And their spelling is a little bit longer. Okay, so if you don't write anything down today, just force yourself to write this one thing. Okay, if you don't write anything else, write this. These are the long form singular forms, and then they're also plural forms. So it's mio or mia, mios, or mias. Yes, let's just go short, singular and long. We have tuyo, tuya, tuyos and tuyas for plural. Suyo, suya, suyos, suyas. Nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, and nuestras. That's the same. So really the only difference between long form and short form nuestro is it goes in front of the noun or behind the noun. And then we have suyo again, suya, suyos, and suyas. I'll give you a second to write those down. So we would use these to say, if I have this really special doll, instead of saying, my doll is pretty, a doll of mine is pretty. That's the difference with a doll of mine or of yours. That's the difference when you say these. Just a little bit more expressive. My friend is nice. A friend of mine is nice. Any questions on these so far? Want to see them in action? Okay. Anyone still writing? Okay, here's some examples. A friend of mine. Okay, we have un amigo, that's a friend. And then mio is agreeing with friend because you're saying mine, so you look to the yo form box. And then amigo is masculine, so mio has to be masculine. Okay, amigo, mio. Some relatives of ours. Okay, so our is showing the we form, so we have to look at the nuestro. Relatives, ¿cómo se dice relatives? Parientes, okay? We think of that as masculine and plural. So we have unos parientes. I'm sorry. What did I do?
No, she's talking to me.
Oh, okay.
Bump your desk.
Okay, sorry. So unos parientes nuestros. Nuestro is masculine plural because parientes is masculine plural. Oops. Anyone writing that one? Questions on how we got these examples? Okay, consider who's owning it. You look at the box of who's doing the owning, and then you make the ending agree what it is you own. All right, let's do some examples. I brought the video of yours. Yo traje un video tuyo. Okay, I brought us traje. That's preterite. We know how to do that. A video or the video. Sorry, I think it should be el video. El video tuyo. You own it, so I have to go the tuyo form, and then the ending of tuyo agrees with video, so it's video tuyo. Another example, she saw a friend of theirs. She saw a friend of theirs. So ella vio un amigo suyo. Okay, whose friend in it is it? It's their friend. So you go to the suyo box, and then suyo has to agree with amigo. So it just stays how it is because it's masculine and singular. I called some aunts and uncles of mine. All right, so I called llamé, and then we say some aunts and uncles, unos tíos. Now this time you consider who's the owner. I'm the owner because it says mine. So we have the mio form, but because tuyos or tíos is plural, so mios has to be plural. Make sense? All right. You talked to a teacher of ours. Okay. What would be ours in this one? We are doing the owning. It would be nuestra. Your instinct is to say nuestros because we is plural, but the teacher is singular. So it's nuestra, maestra, or if it was a masculine teacher, nuestro. I'm sorry, maestra, nuestra, or maestra, maestro, nuestro. Okay? We own it, but what it is I own determines whether it's plural or not. ¿Entienden? Make sense? Okay. Maestra, nuestra. All right. One more example. We use some dolls of mine. Okay. Oops. Usamos unas muñecas mías. Okay. Muñecas is plural in feminine, so mías is plural in feminine. Okay, give you a minute to write down those examples. I'm going to stop the video so we can start part